give it to your group, you can find it, but you cannot find me anywhere. Okay. Okay. Am I in? একেবারে perfect. All right. তাহলে এবার একটু অন করে দাও। আচ্ছা। Okay. So there, like I was saying, there are two aspects of verbal communication. One is the mechanics. Another one is the rules or the convention. Mechanics means what? The way it works. So when we are saying verbal, that means you immediately get the idea that it has to do something with the voice, right? So if you have, like we watched during our second slide, that when two persons communicate with each other, they are expressing their thoughts, ideas, concepts, or any kind of reactions. When they're using it, doing their voice, then we'll call it verbal communication. And when we are using voices, most of the time we are using words. So that is why we're saying that spoken words. But we also use certain sounds. That also, like if I am annoyed কথাটা বুঝি বিরক্ত, then I'll make I'm making the sound, but you guys can understand that yes, I am a bit annoyed. So that is also a type of verbal communication, but most of the time we express using spoken words. Okay? All right. And definitely this is one of the most common types of communication between humans. So when you are using a presentation or a video conference or phone calls or meetings or even one-on-one conversations, you are using verbal communication. But it requires a certain set of skills. I'm going a bit slow so that you guys understand the words, because the words are the main fuel for this communication. If the words are not understood properly, this communication is bound to fail. Okay. All right. If you write, you mean like dialogue writing? No, it's not verbal. I mean, you are communicating definitely, but most of the time the form is written communication. All right. So why does verbal communication matter to us? Because it actually helps us build rapport. Rapport মানে কি? আস্থা বা পরিচিতি, মানে I'm building a rapport with you guys. That means if I am saying something, you guys are, I mean, for the days you have known me, you will somewhat believe what I say. So that's a rapport. That if someone is convincing or you know someone, and whenever he or she uses some kind of communication, some kind of spoken language, then you are experiencing a rapport. You'll sometimes see on the news that UN rapporteur. So rapporteur means some kind of ambassador. Ambassador বুঝাতে পারলাম যে দূত কোথাও কারো হয়ে কাজ করছে, হ্যাঁ? So that means what? আমরা কাউকে অ্যাম্বাসেডর হিসেবে কখনোই মেনে নেই না unless his or her status is proven to us that yes, because US embassy, okay, the US government has verified or allowed this guy to talk to the government of Bangladesh. So that's a hidden rapport there. Okay? All right. Now, and that also builds positive interactions, stronger work relationship. You will be using verbal communication in all phases of your life. In fact, you are. Not after learning this, you have already learned to use verbal communication. Maybe not that sophisticated. Maybe some of you talks whatever comes to your mind. But sometimes that gets people offended. বুঝতে পারলাম যে খুব straightforward কথা বলে এরকম লোকজন আছে. But sometimes people get hurt. They say, no, you shouldn't have said like that. So that means when you are using verbal communication, we mean that it should be sophisticated and formal communication, formal use of words. And the mechanics we'll be dealing with in a later chapter. The mechanics meaning how do you use your voice? How do you pronounce a particular word? How do you avoid not doing something with your voice? If you're saying so that is something that comes naturally, but you are supposed to avoid it. So that's why that is called the mechanics. Whenever we are using something dynamically, that is called the mechanics. Mechanics মানে কোনো কিছুর কিভাবে কাজ করে, ঠিক আছে? So we'll not be talking about that here, but in the later chapter. Anyway, so when you have these skills, like you can talk very convincingly, and you are fine at verbal communication, that helps you gain confidence from your target audience. And you have to make sure that your audience really understands whatever you are saying. So that is then you can be successful in making a good verbal communication. And there are other ways too, various work situations, projects, negotiation বুঝি আমরা দর কষাকষি. You are talking to someone, maybe many of you guys are doing the outsourcing, right? So you are talking to clients from other countries, and he or she wants you to do a particular job for them at a lower price, but you feel that no, this is not the right price, so you speak up. You say no, you have to give me more. So that is called negotiation. All right. And also job interviews. Whenever you go to you apply for a job, and if you are shortlisting বুঝি আমরা, meaning among thousands of, or maybe 5,000 people applied for a job, only 30 are selected. So that is called shortlisting. You are making a short list. So that means that you are one step ahead of getting the job. Then you have to convince your employer during the interview. So that's why during the job interview, it is very important to have a good verbal communication skill. Okay. And the main vehicle বুঝি বাহন for verbal communication is the language. So if you know how to use your language, you can really hit it. You can really be successful in your verbal communications. And one more thing about language is that it does not always paint the reality. Not all the time. Say when you were telling a story to your niece, or to your younger brother or sister. You are making up stories, but that is not really giving his or her the sense of reality surrounding them. Or just look at the MAGA movement. MAGA movement, বুঝি আমরা? Making America Great Again. Mr. Trump. What he is doing? He is making up fictitious picture of American society. He is saying that, well, all the migrants from other countries, they are coming in, they are committing crimes, they are taking away your jobs. So the Democrats are not really stopping that. I'm the guy who can stop that. So vote for me. So he's making up stories. He's using very convincing language. And what is really scary is that many people believe him. In the United States, it's a divided country now. United States, it's a grave situation for the world. Because why? If one guy he forgets what he is talking about, Mr. Biden, and Trump is lying like a dog. It's a phrase, lying like a dog. Whatever comes to your mind, you're lying like anything. Right. So that means, I'm citing this example for making it clear to you that yes, you can use language in a very unethical way. Oh, another example comes to mind. Hitler. When Hitler gave a speech to German people, he was making things up. He was talking against the Jews, and the Jews were wealthy people there in Germany, right? Huh? I'm being distracted. Please listen to me. That is also not true all the time. Few, meaning probably I would say 20% of the Jews, or maybe 10% of the Jews. No, this is also a fabrication. Why American people, American government, why do they support Israel? Because Israel is wagging the tail. আচ্ছা এখানে এটা একটা phrase. Dog wags its tail. তার মানে কি? কুকুর লেজ নাড়ায়। আর এটাকে উল্টাভাবে যদি বলা হয় যে লেজ কুকুরকে নাড়ায়। সো এই আইডিয়াটা হচ্ছে যে ইসরায়েল wags America or Jews wag W-A-G wags America. That's what we know, we have come to know, but that is not true. America has eye on the oil reserves of Middle East, so it needs some kind of a what should I say, a guard or a watchdog to safeguard so that no people in the Middle East, they do not go against United States. That's what they have now. Just look at the setup. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, all have, Oman also, all have dictators, monarchs, kings, who are very much dependent on the United States. And on top of that, they have United States has Israel, because Israel has nuclear power and all that thing. So people are in that area, they know that if especially the kings, they know that if they go against America, Israel is there to attack them or whatever. Israel will do the dirty job for them, like they're doing now. Do you think that they could have done all these atrocities in Gaza without the permission of United States? United States is posing that oh, we don't like it, yes, but they are letting it happen. They're selling, why? Because they're not only oil, they're selling arms to the Israelis. They're giving them, they're borrowing, letting them borrow money from American government, but they pay for it, pay for the arms they get from the American manufacturers. What happens? American public money goes back to America being in the private pockets. That's amazing, isn't it? Like, this is the nature of capitalism. Okay? So you have all kinds of playing of languages. Biden is saying, yes, we should not let Israel do this sort of atrocities, but they're doing it anyway. Oh, Netanyahu is not listening to us. So that's what I said. The language you use many a times really does not mirror the reality. It can be crafted. It can be crafted meaning kalponik. It can be made up. So I'm not really saying that you guys use this sort of thing in your presentation, unethical way, no, but you should be aware of that. That's if you have to counter someone. Counter মানে কি? এমন কারো বিরোধিতা করছে যে like Trump, making up stories which really are not true. He's making up stories about all around the world, about everything. And like the COVID-19 virus, they say, Trump especially says this is a Chinese virus. He often says Wuhan virus. He always says that. But that has not been proven yet. And if it was true, probably it would have proven, but it still hasn't been proven. So language is very powerful. You can use it to persuade people, but at the same time, you can also misguide them. You can tell stories that are not true, but very strong stories that will make people confused or maybe go the other way. Okay? So that is the power of language. So that means that if you have to convince the audience, you have to be efficient and very mindful in using your language. Again, what is language? Oh, we have another example here. Say we all know that drugs are bad for the society. So many governments, they try to make themselves look very good by saying that, yes, we are fighting drugs. So if they think that, if they say some kind of words like this, socially beneficial, worth the cost. Socially beneficial means this helps the society. Worth the cost, meaning whenever you are fighting against drugs, you are deploy মানে হচ্ছে মোতায়েন করা, more police officers, maybe you are also making laws, very strict laws. So, but for that law, maybe many people, many small-time dealers বলতে বোঝায় ছিচকে খুদে drug dealer, তাকে জেলে ঢুকিয়ে দিয়েছে for 20 years. That happens in America. But it is saying that worth the cost. It's a cost to the society. People are being thrown into jail. But they said, well, we are doing it because we would like to stop drug business. So that is a way of talking about that. And so feeding the crime, it deserves that, oh, he got 15 years jail time because he was dealing drugs. So you were saying that feeding the crime. Yeah, it's the right punishment for that particular crime. So this is a way of making people more positive about the steps the government is taking to fight drugs. On the other hand, if you go to the other side, you say socially harmful. How socially harmful? Maybe you are punishing the little guys more than the big guys. All the drug lords, I can cite an example. In the 1990s, late part of 1990s, the CIA, they were helping some South American countries. I guess, what was that? El Salvador. And they were bringing, and also Colombia. Colombia has a huge drug market, and a lot of Colombia's drug cartel bole. Oye cartel mane hocche group gulo. They have they grow cocaine and cokes and all this thing, and then they export. CIA helped them bring that to the Los Angeles area of California in the States. And CIA helped the operation. They planned an airline. They bought an airline which is called Air America. You can Google it if you are interested. Air America. And they brought in drugs to be distributed in the urban areas of, especially ghetto areas. Ghetto বুঝি আমরা ghetto? Ghetto কথাটা আসছে হলো দ্বিতীয় মহাযুদ্ধের আগে বা ওই সময় the Jewish people in the Eastern European countries, they were living in the slum. Slum হয়ে যে আমাদের বস্তি এগুলোতে, এইটাকে ghetto বলা হয়. Likewise, in the States, you have ghettos where people are very poor. So whenever you are poor, you feel like I have to be rich overnight. So either they play lotteries or they go for crimes, right? So in the ghetto, the crime is very high, and CIA was selling drugs in those ghettos. And that came out in, I guess, 1992. I forgot the name of the reporter. It was a huge outcry. And so that became socially harmful because you are throwing these small guys, small criminals into jail, and that is costing you money. They're costing money to the society. So you can say that this is socially harmful. Waste of money, definitely. I mean, you are being very harsh in getting people and just throwing them into jail without even correcting them, without even letting them any chance to be good people. So, and lastly, disproportionate to the crime. Disproportionate to the crime meaning that you are লঘু পাপে গুরুদণ্ড দিচ্ছে. For probably he's a carrier বুঝিতে আমরা না, ড্রাগ এক জায়গা থেকে অন্য জায়গায় নিয়ে যাচ্ছে, but you give them 15 to 20 years in jail. A few days ago, Biden actually exonerated এর মানে সিম্পল শব্দটা আমি খুঁজে পাইলাম, মানে এই মুহূর্তে আমার মাথায় আসেনি. exonerated মানে হচ্ছে মাফ করে দেয়া. হ্যাঁ, কোন একটা কারো একটা ক্রাইম হচ্ছে বা একটা ভুল হচ্ছে, ওটার জন্য তাকে মাফ করে দেয়া। এরকম ড্রাগ রিলেটেড চার্জে বোধহয় প্রায় সাম 60 or 70,000 পিপলকে সে মাফ করে দিয়েছে বাইডেন। এগুলো হচ্ছে অবশ্য বাইডেনের কাইন্ড অফ মানে চাল যে ইয়েস আই এম ডুইং সাম গুড, বাট দ্যাট ওয়াজ ডিসপ্রপোর্শনেট টু দ্য ক্রাইম, তাই না? 15 years জাস্ট সে তাকে বলেছে যে ইউ উইল গেট সাম মানি, take this and give it to the guy like on the other side of the town. Okay, so that is disproportionate. So here we have two sides of the story, and both sides can be made believable. So that is the power of language, that you can, it depends how you are framing your narratives. Narrative means বর্ণনা, আমি কিভাবে আমার বর্ণনাকে সাজাচ্ছি, I can incite a riot like they're doing in India. Oh, these Muslims, they have beef inside their fridge. The mob to বুঝি আমরা না যে মানে উত্তেজিত জনতা, they go and beat the poor Muslim guy without even checking his fridge. Right, yellow journalism বলে এগুলোকে. When you are trying to make a sensation, এটা commotion তৈরি করছো, but this is not true. But what is happening? You have your paper selling, you have lots of hit on your website, misinformation. So that is the power of language. Okay. So, and the language is actually composed of words. So we have to know about the words, especially the meaning of the words, how that particular word will sound or make the audience believe whatever message I'm trying to give. So the use of words is very important. Okay. So that brings us to the clarity. So you have to be very, very clear. Clarity means স্পষ্টতা বা পরিষ্কার. So you have to be very, very clear in your verbal communication. So there are certain steps. What are the steps? Choose simple, concise language that the audience can easily understand. So concise means exactly, যথাযথ, একেবারে যা মিন করতে চেয়েছো সেটাই. So, and also it should be simple so that I'm doing the same thing now, because yes, I come up with certain words, then I'm trying to make you guys understand by translating it right then and there. But once you know that your audience, the type of audience you have to be ready for that. Focus on the core points of the message. Yes, there are many examples you can bring in, but do not let that example cover your message, your original message, so that your audience does not get lost. আমি অনেক কথা বলছি, অনেক উদাহরণ দিচ্ছি, but core message should be clear. Avoid jargon, technical terms, and acronyms. Acronyms বুঝি তোমরা না? ASAP, as soon as possible. OMG. So, I mean, these days people understand that, but there are certain acronyms that you guys are not aware of. CNG or NBR. NBR বুঝি? NBR you are not familiar with. National Board of Revenue. Okay. So that is the acronym. Technical terms, jargon. Jargon means some words specially for a particular domain. Like you are saying that, yes, I have to JDBC my database. I have to connect my program to my database. But if someone is not from the computer science field, they won't understand what is JDBC. You guys know, right? No. Huh? You know. Okay. So another term is ODBC, that is done with Oracle database. Okay. So these are jargon, technical words. So if you feel that your audience is not familiar with them, you should not use it. You must not use it. Okay? All right. Offer background information or context to help the audience understand the relevance and importance of the topic. So you have to, you're trying to get a message across, but your audience really does not know the context. Context means the background. So you have to explain the background first, then your message will be more clear. precision. Like I said, it has to be exactly. What is this? Oops. Some kind of calipers. You have to measure very minutely. You see these dials. You have to mechanical measurement. So that means that it has to be exactly what you mean. You have to make sure that it is the act of outlining carefully and explicitly what you want to convey. Convey meaning pochano. So, and you will eliminate irrelevant details. Eliminate মানে হচ্ছে বাদ দিয়ে দেওয়া. Irrelevant means অপ্রাসঙ্গিক, যেগুলো এটার সাথে খাটে না. You have to get rid of them. Avoid unnecessary words and overly flowery language. I mean, I'm a poet, so I'm saying my message, and I'm probably using some poems to deliver my message. Not everyone will understand that, because in poems you use lots of words. Those are called flowery words, meaning the words actually expressed in a poetic way. কবিরা যেসব শব্দ ব্যবহার করে. So you have to avoid them. And while repetition may be necessary in some case, be sure to use it carefully and sparingly. Sparing means not very regularly. মাঝে মধ্যে অল্প অল্প করে. So repeating your message is important, because sometimes your audience may not understand, but if you keep on repeating, then your message is minimized. It will not be successful. All right, there are some kind of examples of using. There are two types of words, abstract and concrete. Like we use abstract noun and concrete noun. Concrete means whatever you can touch, you can understand. Abstract is something that is not really touchable, or you have to comprehend. So in terms of when you are using abstract words, what happens? People they are free to guess it from their own point of view. Like I will give another example, but first let's use this one. We build custom software that allows HR departments heads to design employee manuals. Like probably it's an advertisement for a particular software firm. But what they are doing, they are actually pinpointing that yes, this is what we do, which will be beneficial for human resource departments. And what will they do? The heads of those departments, they can easily design employee manuals. Employee manuals mean whenever you'll see, whenever you will get a job, you will be handed some kind of papers, documents that will explain what are your responsibilities as an employee. So that is called employee manuals. Okay, another sentence. The interviewer guidelines offer real-life examples and sample question you can modify and use. So you are an interviewer. So I'm giving you some instruction. That instruction really lets you use real-life examples and also sample questions that you can use. Meaning, the day before yesterday, 2 young people came to my door and started knocking around 8 p.m., 8 in the evening. I said, why are you guys here? So we are here to conduct a survey, economic survey. I said, I'm sorry, I cannot do that now. This is too late now. But what is happening? They have been instructed to conduct a survey, but they picked up the wrong time. So if they had a good supervisor, that supervisor would tell them, no, do not choose this time to go to people's houses, because people are back from work, they are probably relaxing. This is not the ideal time to go. But anyway, so that means that you have to give, if you instruct someone, you have to give clear cut instruction. So that is that's what we are calling precision. The accounting department has asked all employees to submit report using Excel spreadsheet. So the department is telling all its employees to make a report using Excel spreadsheet, not anything else. So you have to be more specific. Precision means being very specific. Okay, so here is do we know about Mark Twain? Mark Twain এর নাম শুনেছি আমরা? He was a writer from late 1800s of American history, and he has a very renowned story, Huckleberry Finn. You guys, Ayman, have you ever studied Huckleberry Finn? Huckleberry Finn. And there is a very interesting analogy with Srikanto. Srikantor লেখা পড়েছি আমরা? Indranath. The storyline is something like this. One guy, he is average, but he respects one person. He treats them as his hero, because he is doing something he cannot do. ইন্দ্রনাথ এরকম একজন ক্যারেক্টার, বাংলায় বললে বোধহয় ব্যাপারটা আরও অনেক পরিষ্কার হবে। ইন্দ্রনাথ নামে এরকম, এটা হচ্ছে শরৎচন্দ্র চট্টোপাধ্যায়ের একটা চরিত্র, ঠিক আছে? ইন্দ্রনাথ হচ্ছে ডাকাবুকো টাইপের। ডাকাবুকো বলতে মানে বিভিন্ন উল্টাপাল্টা কাজ করে ফেলে, মানে ইসের মধ্যে শ্মশানের মধ্যে দিয়ে মাঝরাতে নৌকা বেয়ে চলে যাচ্ছে সে, আর তার সাথে শ্রীকান্ত আসছে, সে ভয়ে মাথা নিচু করে নৌকার ভিতরে বসে আছে। হ্যাঁ, সো এই যে এই চরিত্রটা, এটা হাকলবেরি ফিনের সাথে মিল আছে। হাকলবেরি ফিন এরকম একটা ভবঘুরে টাইপের, ওই বিভিন্ন সে উল্টাপাল্টা কাজ করে ফেলে, আর কি গ্রামের ছেলেরা তাকে খুব পছন্দ করে। হ্যাঁ, সো এই বলতে পারো, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বলতে পারো যে এই এগুলো এক ধরনের ছায়া, এক ধরনের মানে ওই ধরনের স্টোরির একটা ছায়া। হ্যাঁ, মানে অনেক কিছুই আসছে। তো ওই মার্ক টুয়েন যেটা বলেছিলেন ভেরি মানে খুবই পোয়েটিক ওয়েতে, দ্য ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন দ্য রাইট ওয়ার্ড অ্যান্ড দ্য অলমোস্ট রাইট ওয়ার্ড ইজ দ্য ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন lightning and the lightning bug. This is lightning and this is the lightning bug. তার মানে কি, জোনাকি আর বজ্রপাতের মধ্যে যে পার্থক্য, রাইট ওয়ার্ড আর অলমোস্ট রাইট ওয়ার্ড, কাছাকাছি ওয়ার্ডের পার্থক্য এত বড়। সো দ্যাট মিনস দ্যাট when we are using our words, we have to be very, very careful that misuse of word can make a huge difference. That's what he says here. যে একটা জোনাকি আর বজ্র, লাইটনিং এর সঠিক বাংলা কি? বিদ্যুৎ চমক, হ্যাঁ বজ্রপাত বলতে পারে। আচ্ছা, বজ্রপাতের যে আলো আর একটা জোনাকির আলোর ভিতরে বিশাল ফারাক, ঠিক আছে? অলরাইট, use the familiar words. এখানে I will not be I'll not be telling everything. So it means it's the same story, that you do not have to make it a huge presentation to get people's attention. Gettysburg Address, do you know about this? Gettysburg Address. এটা হলো কি Abraham Lincoln gave a speech after the end of American Civil War in 1865. There was a speech to console বুঝি মানুষকে সান্ত্বনা দেয়া যে you have lost a lot of people. দুইটা বাহিনীর মধ্যে ফাইট হয়েছিল হ্যাঁ সাদার্ন স্টেট এবং নর্দার্ন স্টেট on issues of slavery and all that. এই যারা southern state, they are representing the MAGA these days. Okay, they were for slavery. They did not treat the black people fairly, and the northern state said we should set the slaves free. So there was a conflict, and then they started fighting. But that fight actually took over lives of lots of people, thousands of people. So that is why at the end of the war, Abraham Lincoln, being the president of that time, he gave a speech. And that speech is really known for its, we'll actually, I'll bring it next time, or maybe if we have time in this class, we'll try to find out on the YouTube. Okay, so actually they could not record Abraham Lincoln saying the speech, but some other people they kind of mimic বুঝি মানে ওইভাবে নকল করে বলেছে আর কি অনুকরণ করে বলেছে হ্যাঁ but that speech was only of 271 words, not very big, and which only had 251 had only one or two syllable word. মানে কি খুব কঠিন শব্দ ব্যবহার করে নাই, one or two syllable word ব্যবহার করে মাত্র 271 words ব্যবহার করে but it became one of the best speeches in the history of the world. Okay, what time it is now? 12:30. Okay, we'll just do this and then we'll go for presentation or whatever. Okay. So abstract versus concrete word. So we usually use abstract word. Whenever you are saying something to your friend and your friend is not understanding, that means that you are using abstract word. You are probably making fun. You're telling something, but the person is in serious mood. He doesn't understand the fun, and he is like confused. So that is an abstract word. Concrete word, the meaning is very clear. Then it is called a concrete word. So that's the difference. So let's see here. This is an abstract use of language. Our company is looking for a flexible team player. Many people write on their CVs, right, or resume that yes, I'm a very faithful guy or faithful worker. Who certified that? So that is the scenario. That is an abstract word. I am an experienced office manager. How do I know? I mean, I'm the prospective employer. মানে আমি একে চাকরি দিতে চাচ্ছি, but he says I'm an experienced manager, but he doesn't provide any documents. You have to provide some documents. So that is an abstract message. ZYX, this is probably a company. Marketing will integrate actionable solutions. Actionable solutions meaning what? Today I see that in the social media, or maybe lots of influencer, they are using this sort of words. You have to be very deliver a powerful message. What does it mean by powerful? How do you distinguish power in a message? So these are message Sorry? Oh, acha. So concrete means you make it specific. So here are some examples. Oh, we have seen this already, right? It actually this was a slide from before. So I'll not actually go there. All right, now we'll do this the other day in our next class.